Hi, my name is Cold Beer and let's start with God of War. Here you play as Kratos, a man who now lives in the realm of Norse gods and monsters. It is in this harsh, unforgiving world you must fight to survive and teach your son to do the same. So to say short, he will slay the whole pantheon of pre-Viking gods and creatures, because why not? You are awesome and they suck. This version has some nice upgrades compared to the PlayStation version. For example, here you'll enjoy true 4K resolution with unlocked frame rates. I can already smell your computer's fear because you may smell him burning. You will also get higher resolution shadows, improved screen space reflections, ultra-wide screen support and so on. Game also supports DualShock controllers. And also check out this amazing new Humble Games bundle. 7 Steam games and among them such hits like Metal Hellsinger, Scars Above, Plague Tale Innocence and more. You can buy 4 games for €9 or all 7 of them for about €14. This is one of the better bundles in a while, so don't hesitate and you will find my affiliate link to this collection in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. This is a massive, challenging action RPG that drops you into a vast open world full of interesting characters and creatures. The game is made by Capcom, a Japanese company, but the whole setting of Dragon's Dogma is European. So you may think maybe because of that this game features some ridiculous moments, but Capcom was really serious about the job. They went all around Europe to actually get a lot of information, especially for the backgrounds and environments in the Dragon's Dogma. They looked at architecture and buildings and things of that nature, and also just natural environments as well. Also took many pictures and tried to recreate those as closely as possible. Well, a bunch of Japanese people in Europe taking pictures? Who could have thought? Anyway, developers actually did a lot of research in Europe that helped recreate stuff in-game, and that level of dedication is truly admirable. Dragon's Dogma has more strategy and more dynamic fights than usual action RPG games. You know, you can climb monsters here and that is super cool. Also, it's a tougher game in general. But if you like to explore the open world and love fantasy games, you can't ignore it. Gamers are talking that this is an underrated gem and is a must-play for every open-world RPG fan. Cyberpunk 2077. Finally, Cyberpunk 2077 has become a great game. Recent reviews on Steam are always above 90%, and the main score climbed to the very positive tier. After many years in mixed and later in mostly positive category, this is an achievement of really hard work and dedication. CD Projekt Red, by releasing an undercooked game, has made probably the biggest mistake of their lives, but they are slowly climbing up, although the stock value of the company is still in ruins. After the flop of the game, CD Projekt Red lost about a third of company's value, and so far nothing has changed despite the amazing comeback of Cyberpunk. And the game itself is a wet dream of anyone who likes single-player RPG games, but it also has some really annoying flaws as well. Despite being set in a GTA-like world, here you cannot fly. That is sad. Anyway, the campaign is more than awesome. 11 cold beers out of 10. Valheim. Most of us can remember the hype it caused on release date, and the hype is well deserved. This game is really a masterpiece with a review score never, at least on Steam, never below 90%. It may scare you that the game is still in early access after all those years, but if you focus on the main objectives only, it will still provide you with more than 70 hours of gameplay. And in general, Valheim is a brutal exploration and survival game for 1 to 10 players, set in a procedurally generated world inspired by Norse mythology. You will craft powerful weapons, construct longhouses, grow your balls and slay mighty foes to prove yourself to Odin. Stardew Valley. This is probably the most famous life and farming sim on Steam, although it wasn't the original idea that propelled the game into the stars. The makers of Stardew Valley were inspired to recreate the look and feel of a game called Harvest Moon. So here you can create your own character, build the farm of your dreams, become a master rancher, socialize with other characters and explore the world around you. You can have husband or wife and kids, also a cat or a dog, and a lot of vegetables you can harvest and sell. Almost all the reviews are positive. I had to scroll down for 5 minutes to find the first negative one, and it was some kind of gibberish anyway. If you like farming and life sims, Stardew Valley is a must-play for you. Slay the Spire. More than 100,000 players are recommending this game for you, and so do I. Slay the Spire is a fuse of card games and roguelike titles. Here you can craft a unique deck, encounter bizarre creatures and discover relics of immense power while trying to climb up the ladder. Game features a dynamic deck building, so assemble your deck wisely. Discover hundreds of cards to add to your deck with each attempt at climbing the spire. Select cards that work together to efficiently dispatch foes and reach the top. People on Steam are talking that Slay the the Spy is really addictive, and yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hours played in the comment section. 200 is quite a casual number here, so another game that will keep your virginity safe and sound for a long time. Against the Storm. This is a roguelite city builder set in a gloomy fantasy world. Artistically, this is one of the coolest RTS city builder games I have seen lately, except one thing. Here it never stops raining. And I hate rain. In my country, Lithuania, rain is always cold. Even in the summer and in any other season, it feels like an ice needle piercing my puny body straight to the bone. Also, I wear glasses, so it's a thing that's really hard to love. Anyway, here you are, a pioneer sent into the wilds to establish and manage new settlements inhabited by smart beavers, lizards, and humans. Your goal is to survive long enough and gather the valuable resources necessary to rebuild and upgrade your city. It's the only safe haven against the Blightstorm, a vile cycle of destruction ravaging everything in its path. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. Bound to protect a young lord who is a descendant of an ancient bloodline, you become the target of many vicious enemies. When the young lord is captured, nothing will stop you on a perilous quest to regain your honor. Well, except death. Death will stop you many times. Keep in mind that Sekiro is the creation of the same developers as the Souls games, and it's meant for people with masochistic tendencies. If you hate yourself, this game is for you. Although I have one piece of advice on how to easily beat this game. It's very simple. Stop being a noob and get good. Dave the Diver. This is a casual single-player adventure RPG featuring deep-sea exploration and fishing during the day and sushi restaurant management at night. Here you will dive into the ever-changing blue hole and use a harpoon and other weapons to catch fish and other various unlucky creatures. You will upgrade and forge equipment with collected resources and sushi restaurant profits to prepare for the dangers that lurk in the unknown. Here you will also meet quirky but lovable characters and a story full of jokes and other humorous scenes. The game is a combination of pixel and 3D graphics that provide an interesting and original art style. The adventure is set in the real marine environment of a blue hole, filled with over 200 kinds of sea creatures, so catch and make sushi from all of them. Hades. 98% of positive reviews left by hundreds of thousands of people is the best proof that Hades is a masterpiece. This is a godlike, roguelike dungeon crawler that combines the best aspects of action RPG games and is a wonderful storyteller. As the immortal prince of the underworld, you wield powers and mythic weapons of Olympus to break free from the clutches of the god of the dead himself. You must grow strong and unravel more of the story with each unique escape attempt. Yeah, each attempt. That kinda sums up this game where you will be dying all the time. But dying is a part of Hades, it's not something you should be afraid of. And people on Steam are saying, well, it doesn't matter what they say, it's a masterpiece. They are all praising the game and saying that it is the best ever, just like potato salad. Disco Elysium. This is one of the greatest role-playing experiences you will ever have, but play it only if you like reading a lot and like games without combat. You will not find any here. Well, I mean combat that is not a result of your dialogue choices. Your character will do things automatically based on the decisions you make, and those decisions of yours are not always very smart, and Disco Elysium just lets you do stupid things, which is kinda scary because suddenly you may realize that you just wanted to test the waters, but instead you actually made the decision that will have grim consequences. And by grim, I mean really grim. On some of those occasions, the game just ends. You may see game over screen without even playing an hour. And the game is like,
I told you, but you pushed me hard, so the consequences are yours to swallow.
Yeah, actually Disco Elysium has 3 different endings and 12 unique game overs. Those I talked about before. So always, and I mean always, think twice before doing something stupid. And then think twice while playing Disco Elysium as well. Because no matter how stupid the decision you want to make is, the game may let you do it. Dead by Daylight. This is a multiplayer 4 vs 1 horror game where one player takes the role of the savage killer and the other 4 players play as survivors, trying to escape the killer and avoid being caught, tortured, and killed. Survivors play in third person have the advantage of better situational awareness. You know, when you go near the corner of the house, you can see what is happening without exposing your silly face, and the killer plays in first person. I personally think that this concept came from studying nature. Various herbivores have peripheral vision and the predator heroes are best at seeing what's in front of them, so they took this concept and implemented it here. Anyway, the survivor's goal in each encounter is to escape the killing ground without getting caught by the killer, something that sounds easier than it is, especially when the environment changes every time you play. And if you play as a killer, you must help survivors to escape safely, except not. Detroit: Become Human. Here, decisions will dramatically alter how the game's intense, branching narrative plays out. Your choices really matter, not like in real life. Basically, the whole game is built around your choices. You can't do anything here except to choose what to do in certain situations. Well, also you move around a little and search for clues, but that's kinda it. And every decision you make, no matter how small, affects the outcome of the story. And in this game, no playthrough will be exactly the same. You can replay again and again to discover a totally different conclusion, sometimes absolutely unexpected one. Well, let's be honest, you probably won't do that many times, but it's nice to know that the ending you got is really unique. Also, you can try the free demo version on Steam. Untitled Goose game. Ever wanted to be an evil goose? No? Well, you should, because you can be a menace to society, not only being human that you are. Here you'll make your way around town, setting up ranks, stealing hats, honking a lot, and generally ruining everyone's day. This is a nice and funny puzzle game. And also, if you ever feel alone, you can play co-op with your mother-in-law, and that's how there will be 2 evil geese. The more the merrier, right? If you love making people suffer, this game is definitely for you. Days Gone. This is an open-world action-adventure game set in a harsh wilderness 2 years after a devastating global pandemic, which made a lot of zombies out of unlucky humans. Here you will take control of a bounty hunter trying to find a reason to live in a land surrounded by death. You will scavenge through abandoned settlements for equipment to craft valuable items and weapons, or take your chances with other survivors. Days Gone has very positive reviews on Steam, so if you like zombies, give it a try. Although, have you ever imagined that somewhere in the universe there's probably a planet of zombies and they are creating horror games about becoming human? And honestly, we actually are pretty terrifying. Totally accurate battle simulator. If you are just bored and want to kill some time in single player without thinking too much, I doubt there is a better game for that than Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. At first, it's really funny. Second, it challenges your IQ and actual tactical skills. All you need to do is to choose your units, place them strategically and press the fight button. They will do all the battling part by themselves and you will observe it like some overarching god who has no power to influence anything anymore. So when your army is ripped apart and its scattered remains lie on the ground, then you may think of another strategy and try again, and then again. Some of the battles in the campaign are crazy hard and it will squeeze your IQ through your nostrils. Also, if you have some doubts, the game has about 100,000 reviews left on Steam and the score is really close to 100%. I'm not kidding, it's probably one of the best rated games on the whole Steam. Outer Wilds. It was named Game of the Year 2019 by Giant Bomb, Polygon, Eurogamer and The Guardian, so that alone should grab your attention. If it grabs something else or somewhere else, call the police. Here you are the newest recruit of the Outer Wilds Ventures, a space program searching for answers in a strange, constantly evolving solar system. You will have to find what lurks in the heart of the ominous dog Bramble. Who built the alien city on the moon? Well, obviously aliens, but you know what I mean. Can the endless time loop be stopped? And why is potato salad so delicious? Answers await you in the most dangerous reaches of space. Game has overwhelmingly positive reviews, so you can't go wrong with this one. Stray. The game has an overwhelmingly positive review score and is worthy of the full price without a doubt, but now you can obtain it for a little bit cheaper. This is a cat simulator, but not a usual one, if you know some usual ones, because the game is set in a cyberpunk world and that stirs the pot a bit. The game is a third-person cat adventure set in a detailed neon-lit alleys of a decaying cyber city and the murky environments of its seedy underbelly. Here you can roam surroundings high and low, defend against unforeseen threats and solve the mysteries of this unwelcoming place inhabited by nothing but unassuming droids, dangerous creatures and things. You know, like evil duct tape. It's your enemy. If in your life a cat ever owned you, you know why. The Ascent. This is a solo and co-op action RPG set in a distant cyberpunk world. You will be exploring a corporate-run metropolis stretching high into the sky and filled with creatures from all over the galaxy. If you like Star Wars, Firefly or Cyberpunk 2077, it's a perfect setting for your adventures. You play as a worker enslaved by the company that owns your ass and everyone else in your district as well. They are the ultimate assholders. But one day you are suddenly caught in a vortex of catastrophic events, so you must take up arms and embark on a new mission to find out what started it all. People on Steam are saying that the game is really beautiful and fun, but kinda riddled with bugs. Although not everyone experiences these problems, the game has a bit less than 80% of positive reviews. For some it is even the best game they have ever played. I think that is an overstretch, a real overstretch, but kinda encouraging as well. Blasphemous 2. Awakened in a strange new land and displaced from your final resting place, you thrust back into the endless cycle of life, death, and resurrection. There is no other option than to explore this perilous new world and uncover its long-forgotten secrets. There is nothing game-changing or very innovative in the second part of the Blasphemous, but you know the rule: if it's not broken, don't fix it. Your journey starts anew in a series of enchantingly grotesque landscapes, oozing gothic charm and littered with unforgiving traps. How you tackle the labyrinthian world remains at your discretion. There is no wrong turn to be made, only scores to settle. Taking down your enemies won't be easy, but the game is offering more chances to customize and improve your skill set, along with several new unique weapons to wield, so victory might just be within your grasp, but probably not. Dead Space. Of course, I'm speaking about the recent remaster of the game, which is a fantastic game just like the original Dead Space, but I can almost assure you that if you played it a long time ago, you won't spot any difference. I completed the first game more than 10 years ago, and when I watched someone play the remastered version, honestly, I couldn't see anything new. Yeah, the graphics now are shiny and beautiful, but it is exactly how I remember the original version. So the remake is a great game on two occasions. First, if you want to replay the game, and not because there is a remaster available, but because of the game itself. And second, if you never played it. In that case, I can assure you this is one of the best horror shooter games I ever played. Well, it's more like a thriller with a bunch of jump scares, but the atmosphere is amazing. The surroundings of the space station are made incredibly well, and the necromorphs are really creepy. Be sure that your mental balls are strong and hairy. 10 cold beers out of 10. Also, don't forget about this great Humble Bundle collection. You will find my affiliate link in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Keep in mind that with every purchase you can adjust the amount I get and support my channel even more. This will not change the price for you in any way. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.